Hello. Hello. This is Els coming from Beamer's Crafty Corner, and today I have a little project for us. So, this is going to add a lot of space to be able to put things in your journals. And, you know, if you wanted to, you could even use this as a happy mail. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets in here. If you glue this into a book, it could be a 5th pocket. Entirely up to you. But we're going to build this, and it is a use for your double-sided cardstock. So, this is the prototype. The one that we're going to make is going to be a little bit bigger. And we're going to go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to get out some supplies, and I'll be right back. All right, tools on this one. Adhesive. Preferably glue, because if you use the tape, you know, it doesn't actually get dry and your tags can get caught. It's just not pretty. Okay. Circle punch or something to cut a notch if you want a finger notch. Corner rounder, optional. Scoring tools, scoreboard, cardstock, and a paper trimmer. You may also want a pair of scissors, and of course something to decorate with, okay? If you want to put a closure on this, Velcro sticky dot is a good choice. And, you know, you could do one on either side or one in the middle, however you want to do it. But a Velcro sticky dot would be helpful. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to get some stuff out of the way, and then we're going to do some cutting. And once we have our pieces, we'll come back and do the scoring and assembly. I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to cut some pieces. So our first piece is going to be 5 inches wide. So I'm just going to put my paper into my trimmer, get it to 5 inches. Let me get these out of the way. There we go. Set it at 5. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trim that piece. And then I'm going to set this off to the side because we're going to cut another one for this. Okay? Because we have an outside piece, and then we have inside pieces, and we have more. So this piece right here, we're going to cut out of a different piece of paper. But this piece, we're going to cut out of the same paper because it's just, you know. So this one is going to be 5 inches again. So 2 pieces of 5 inch wide. Okay. And then the first one is going to be 8 1/4. Eight and a half doesn't really matter. It's just what you prefer. Let's go 8 1/2. It'll just give me a bigger flap at the top. Okay. All right. So I have that piece, and then the second one is going to be 5 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to bring in the other piece, and I'm going to start off by cutting off this piece at the top. So I'm going to set this in here at 12 inches. Get rid of that piece at the top. And again, I'm going to cut this at 5. I'm making sure that if it's directional, that I'm in the right direction. And then I'm going to cut this at 3 1/4. Okay. So those are the 3 pieces we need. We get the cutter out of the way. I'll be back with the scoreboard. We'll get some scoring done and get this put together. I'll be right back. All right, so 3 pieces of paper. I have my outside piece, which is 5 inches by 5 1/4, 8 1/4, sorry. And then I have my second piece, which is 5 by 5 1/4. And I have my third piece, which is 5 by 3 1/4. Okay? So we're going to get started with some scoring. This one, the 5 by 3 1/4, no score. The second one, we're going to turn it over, okay, and on the 5.25 inch side, we are going to score this at 2.25. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and fold it. Hills into valleys, valleys into hills, right? Okay. We're going to set that one aside. We're going to bring over the last piece. We're going to put this one in our scoreboard. It doesn't seem quite right. Hold on. No, it's right. Okay. Just didn't seem right. So we're going to put this in. And this kind of has a direction, but it doesn't, you know what I mean? So I'm going to score at 2 1/8. That is 1 notch past 2. And then 5 7/8, which is 1 notch before 6. And then I'm going to score again at 6. 7/8 and 6, okay? Alrighty. So that is all of our scoring done. We're going to fold up this bottom piece, line it up on the sides, and go ahead and hit that with the bone folder. And then these two top scores we're going to bring down. Okay, one at a time. Easy way to do this is put your ruler there. And fold it over the ruler. So you get that in there. Okay. Now the only reason we have that there is to give it a little volume if it needs it. It probably won't, but we want to make sure that we have it, okay? Now, next part is to open this up. This is our bottom flap. This is our next flap. And this is our top flap. So what we're going to do is put them all together. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the notch. And then I need to cut a notch on this one. So again, I'm just going to move it, turn it over, put in my notch. Alright, so now I'm going to ink everything. Okay? Ink, 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 ink. I'm going to ink the large piece all the way around, inside and out. This one, I'm going to ink all the way around, just on the front. And on this one, I'm going to ink the sides and the tops, okay? So that is the finality of that. We're going to go ahead and get those inked, and then when I come back, we're going to put this all together. Okay, so I've inked everything that needs to be inked. I've inked this top flap. I don't need to ink here because I'm going to be placing cards on there. I inked this whole outside flap and the seam, and then this whole thing and the seam, okay? So, this one, all the way around the front. Not going to see the bottom on this one. You're not going to see the bottom on that. So we have ink, 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 okay? So, first things first, let's get some glue. Let's glue this one shut, shall we? A little bit of glue on either side. Now, if you're going to use a gusset, you would be putting your gussets in, okay? Fold that over. That's part one. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to take this one, and we're going to glue. See, this is why I used this, because this is ugly. The other side is okay. So we're going to put a little glue here, and a little glue here. We don't have to put any glue on the bottom because this is going to go at the bottom of the fold. Okay? And that's going to be glued. So we're going to glue that in. Making sure we line everything up. And then we're going to take this piece, glue the back of it. Again, we do not need to glue the bottom because it's going to be in the pocket. We're going to put this one in. Again, making sure we line up everything. And then we're going to put glue on this one. Line everything up. Now, if you have a little bit, that's kind of popping out, just trim it with your scissors. And then re-ink as needed. Okay? Alright, so I got that on there. Now, I want to round these corners. So I'm going to round those. I'm going to hit this with some ink. Now, I'm going to let the whole thing dry, and when I come back, I'm going to go ahead and put some dots on this so I can close it, all right? I'll be right back. All right, so I have 2 sets of sticky dots, and these are, sticky back, but I've never met a sticky dot that I trusted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they're together and lined up, and then I'm going to take the back off of one, and I'm going to put a little drop of glue on here. And I'm going to put this where I want it. And then I'm going to take the backing off of it carefully, because it's going to move. It's going to shift. Okay, same thing over here. A little drop of glue. Put it over here where I want it. Then I'm going to take that top off. Okay. A little bit of glue here. And a little bit of glue here. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes. And when I come back, we'll take a look at it, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I used some clips just to hold this in place while it dried. And now it is dry, and you can open it. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. Now, this is 5 inches wide, and we put glue down the edges, so it's probably about 4.5 to 4 1/4. So that's the size we're going to be using for the journaling cards we're going to be putting in here, okay? So I'm going to get out some bits and pieces, probably scraps, to make some journaling cards for this, and we'll go ahead and put some cards in it, some tags and things, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have some tea-dyed index cards. These are the graph ones, and I have this DCWV Maps, Text, and Ledgers stack. And there's some really interesting stuff in here, so I thought, maybe we'll use some of it. So, well, let's take a piece of this out, because we can definitely use a piece of that. And let's see. Let's pull a piece of this from the back. And of course, you could use anything that you want. I'm just using this because, well, honestly, I've had this for a long time and I've never used any of it, so I'm gonna use some. And that's interesting. Okay, that's a couple of pieces. All right. So we know this is 5 inches, so the 4.5 is going to be kind of the limit. So let's go ahead and cut these down to 4.5. Three will be enough. And then this one. All right, so let's take a look at the back. And the back is 3 3/4. So 3.5 would kind of be the utmost on this one. So I'm going to cut this one to 3.5. Let's see. Haha, this one. I'll figure it out. All right, so let's see. Okay, 4.5 is a little much. So let's go with like, let's just take a little bit off and see how we do. Perfect. Okay. So these we're also going to take down a little bit. All right. So we have all of our bits, pieces, and parts. And I don't want to see this. Okay, that's what I'm going to cover. So, let's get one of these cut out. Now we have width, but height is going to be different for each pocket. So in this bottom pocket, as we put this in, we can see that this is kind of our limit. So we're going to go one above that. Let's give it a try. Perfect. Then the next one, just going to go to about that one. See how using that grid card paid off for me. There we go. That'll be the next one. And then one after that should fit just fine. Yep, that one fits just fine. And then this one fits up here. Okay, so now I have them all cut to size. And again, yours may be different than mine in this respect that, you know, all cutters are a little different. So let's take a look. What do we got? This will not fit on this one. It will fit on here. All right, so I'm going to round some corners. I'm going to glue this down, and then I'm going to cut this card, because I don't need the extra on the end. Okay. So we're going to glue this on, giving ourselves a little lip all the way around. And then I'm just going to trim this edge. And then round the edges on that. Ink the whole thing. In the pocket it goes. Oh, not the bottom one. That's the middle one. All right, so then on this one, I think what I'm going to do is 2 small tags as opposed to one of these. So let's do... Yeah. We'll do some tags. Yeah? All right, so we'll do a couple of small tags. And I have this nifty little handy dandy tag punch. There we go. And let's see. We need a piece of paper for it. And I think I'll use a piece of news. And it's just because I'm keeping in kind of the theme of what I have here. Put that in. Cut that. Glue it down. Yeah, it's perfect. We'll do a couple of those. And then we have this one. And for this one, all I'm going to do is put some glue on here and glue it onto the paper, and then I'll just cut it, trim it down from there. Okay, round some corners. Ink. And of course I would do some decorating on this, and if I was going to do washi, I would have put that on there before I glued this all down. Put that one in. Fabulous. And then we have this last one. And I think we're going to do this one. No. I think we'll do it with some music. So I have a nice signature of music here, and I'm just going to cut A little bit off the bottom. Glue. And then we'll go ahead and glue that on there. Trim it and just round the corners. All right, so we got that all trimmed up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and round the corners and we'll ink this. And of course I can decorate it, you know, any way that I want later on. But for right now, all right. And then that fits in there. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Fold that down, and then I can go ahead and decorate the outside. I can put this into my journal. I could just put it in a pocket or a tuck. You can pull it out and have all this extra writing space. But that's it. That's all I have for you today. Until I see you again. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends. Check out the community tab here on the YouTube channel, or scoot on over to the Facebook group. There's a link to that in the description box below. Until I see you the next time, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.